What are we studying? Yes, Prana kosha. So we're studying the koshas, which is the layers of who we are. And there are how many layers of our being? If we count our most innermost self, our Atman, the essence of us, the soul. Yeah, so there's Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, Anandamaya kosha, and then the Atman, the soul. So we first studied the physical body, and that being our important vessel that's going to hold, you know, the essence of who we are in and how we have to keep our vessels healthy because we only get one. And then a couple weeks ago we started the next layer, which is our energy layer. And I love studying this particular layer of ourselves because it is the thing that's not seen, it's invisible to us, so it's oftentimes forgotten. And yet it's so important, the life force. We couldn't survive more than a few minutes without breath. And then the life force, the prana that rides on the breath is everything to us. You guys can remember days when you woke up and you just felt like you had no energy, you know, or maybe periods of your life where you felt that way. And then all of a sudden when you shake loose from that and you start to feel that your energy come back, you realize that that's everything, you know, our life force. So what we've been studying is that yoga is actually a pranic practice, and this is one of the places where you guys are going to come to get your prana fueled, to charge your batteries, and to have more energy in life, to have more vibrant passion and creativity and all those things that we all want to have. So the idea now, we have two koshas that we're studying, the physical body and the energy body. And one of the great benefits of the practice of yoga is that we're going to start to integrate those. And those two are going to start to work together. One feeds off the other. So we understand, because of our studies last semester, that if we're doing a proper breath technique, which for us is a ujjayi breath, and that we're doing the proper movements that go with the breath, that we're going to actually help the physical body stay healthy. We studied that with the vayus. So samana vayu is going to help the digestion, right? Prana vayu, the chest and the heart and our internal organs get bathed through that deep ujjayi breathing. And then the other side of that is we understand that the pranic practice is also going to serve us in understanding the chakras, sort of our emotional evolution as well. So all of that being the part of the pranic practice that we actually do on our yoga mats. And this week we're kind of taking the idea of prana and taking it a little bit further and saying we actually are able to direct our own prana through the practice of yoga or through the practice of intention. So I could say, I'll use Annette as my example today, that Annette walked in the room today and I said, aha, that is Annette, because I recognize her physical body, right? I recognize her as Annette. But there's also this energy that comes into the room, that's Annette as well. And some of you guys have been practicing for years together, and so you have this, you know, this warm feeling when she walks in and smiles and asks how you are and has this way of being that's very loving and very nurturing. And that's Annette's energy. That's when she walks in a room, like there's this part of the room that the energy is kind of raised a bit because she walked in the room. And we have that way of like reading each other. Like the more we're all in touch with our own koshas and get those cleaned up, we're actually more perceptive of people's energy. We can pick up on that more. And we're also more in touch with our own energy. So if Annette was maybe having a low energy day or something going on, that she's more aware of that than kind of being on autopilot and being sort of unaware of our own energy value. So that is the energy that we are constantly charging once we come into our yoga practice. But one of the things that yoga also helps us do with our prana is to actually direct it. So if I came into my practice today and my energy is kind of low, or something that happened yesterday that kind of bummed me out, I can actually come and use this practice to direct my energy to a higher vibration or to a higher place and give myself more energy, put myself in a more positive state of being. How do we do that? So I'm going more on that chakra side of pranas a little bit when I talk about this state for all of us. But how would I change my my own energy with my yoga practice, like my emotional energy or the vibration of my energy. How would I do it? Is it magic? Yoga magic? Yoga fairies that come down and change the vibration of my energy?
I was thinking caffeine, but...
The way we do it is with our focus and our mind. So in yoga, we can actually direct the prana by using that very specific breath and using the mind and the drishtis to focus to actually bring our prana in a specific direction. So kind of a simple way to say it would be that it makes our practice more conscious. So you know we can do anything and be very unconscious, or we say very mindless. I can actually be talking to a friend and be very mindless, like not paying attention and not, focused. But I could also be sitting with Tamara and be very mindful and very conscious and looking her in the eye and really listening to her. And that is directing prana, right? That's directing energy. It's me focusing and being present. And that's one of the things that the yoga practice gives us and actually helps train us to do more in our life, to be more present and to be more conscious. So if I am in a state of maybe a little bit of depression or something, that I have a way of directing my own energy and bringing it back up. So with the yoga practice, it's a simple technique again of breath and movement. And Guruji or Patapi Joyce and Iyengar in his book Light on Yoga would say that then becomes for us like a state of meditation. So we understand like the latter four limbs of the Ashtanga practice is what? They're the internal limbs. They're Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. All those internal limbs are what helps us direct our energy, and that consciousness becomes then for us this moving meditation. So I'm not in my sun salute sitting here going, I've got to work today, bummer, crap, I need some time off, right? No, even if we'd thought that when we walked into the room and we felt that kind of tired when we started. Once you start breathing and moving, the mind starts to follow the motion, the drishtis, it starts to follow the cadence of the breath, and we begin to get present and begin to, get into the state of being it's a state of meditation for us. And we start to realize on the yoga mats, maybe more so than any other place in our life, when the mind wanders off somewhere. So if I always like to give you guys this example, I don't know why it's my favorite, I'm doing my sun salutes and all of a sudden I'm thinking about the blueberry buckwheat pancakes that I'm going to have after class, then I'm like, my mind has gone somewhere and I can pull it back and set that intention. So this week, I use that example of this is a very powerful practice, very simple practice, but it has a potential for each of us to be a very powerful practice, and not just how we take care of our physical bodies and our energy, we're plugging in our pods and our energy, but also we have the ability to shift our own energy as needed and take it to the places we want it to go to. And one of the reasons I was thinking of this lately is because I think for all of us, what's happening in the world right now has been very hard for us, very challenging. You get the news and it's so awful, so devastating that it can take all of us to a place of fear or depression, get into a state of, what's happening in the world, what's wrong. And also, I think there are times where we can hear that news and really try to focus on something good or something positive, and try to kind of take our state of feeling a little bit overwhelmed to a better place. And I myself, I feel like it kind of goes like this sometimes. Like you first hear the news and it's so devastating and so awful. And then something beautiful happened. One of my students this week on Wednesday just brought in her beautiful baby I hadn't seen yet. She was so beautiful, and these big, beautiful eyes, and you guys got to see her. There's no way you couldn't just feel like the love and the beauty of the world, when she was in this room with all of us. And I feel like that's, for us, it's a way for us to think of channeling our collective vibration, to a higher place. When we realize something as awful as what's been happening in the world, is for us to kind of bring our focus to things that are more positive. And And you know, too, I was talking about as a group, you know, we could all practice our yoga at home, which we do sometimes, but we come here for the teachings, we come here to be with the teacher, but we come here to be with each other too. And you know, when you guys are all in a room together and you guys are doing that first sun salute, the second sun salute, and all your breath and all your movement is together, it's such a powerful group energy. It's so beautiful, it's so powerful, and it kind of, if you ever felt that way before, it'd be different if you were just at home doing it. You feel like, oh, it just lifted your vibration to be with everybody else breathing and moving. And I think our setting intention is the same way too. All of you, like I get to come here and try to inspire you guys every week, you know, come up with some teaching or something to help inspire your lives. And yoga is such that you come here, you do your thing, and you take it into your lives. But all of you take your yoga into your lives, you take your intention into your lives, and you do what I do in your life with your wife and with your daughter. And you bring the vibration up of your family or your workplace. You're all going there and you're doing that when you set your intention to be positive and to raise a vibration. So I've invited all of you this week to participate in a candle lighting. We're almost through the 7th day of candle lighting. And again, just a way for us to set intention, use this beautiful, simple practice of yoga to raise our consciousness, not just on our mats, but also in our life. So I will just review the whole week with you guys and tell you what we're going to be lighting our candle for today. And then when you guys do Shavasana, right as we begin Shavasana, we'll have each of you come up and light a candle of intention. So on Sunday we lit one for hope, on Monday for understanding, and Tuesday we lit one for wisdom. On Wednesday we lit a candle for respect. Thursday we lit a candle for acceptance. Friday, yesterday, we lit one for dialogue. And then today, Saturday, we're going to light a candle for guidance. So guidance for our leaders, our politicians, guidance for ourselves, for the people in our lives to join together for this. And then tomorrow will be the last day, and we're going to light a candle for peace. And this was something that Rabbi Eve posed and started, and as a community I wanted us to participate in something that we're doing with our energy and also with our intention as a group.